I know what he's dangerous with, so that's a challenge. I know what he's dangerous at. That's a challenge that I look forward to taking those weapons away from him.
Chisanga Malata of the Sun here with the man who needs no introduction, UFC middleweight champion, Israel Adesanya. Israel, how are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome to sunny, beautiful England.
Beautiful, I mean, man. What a sight. What a sight. Love it.
You couldn't have picked a better time to come, man. So
I think it's part of England, but part of London, part of the culture. So, yeah, I like to be immersed in the atmosphere.
Is this your first time to the UK?
Yes.
And what have you made of it so far, bar the weather?
Is Ireland part of the UK?
No. Well,
Okay, no.
Northern Ireland is, but no.
Oh, no, then I haven't. This is my first time.
Okay, and what have you made of it so far?
I love it. I love the energy, even the gloominess, everything. It's just part of it. So like I said, I just take it all in.
Fair enough. And you're a couple weeks removed from the UFC 271 victory in the rematch against Robert Whittaker. With the benefit of hindsight, I don't know if you've watched the fight. Like I saw.
Haven't.
No, you haven't watched it. Okay.
Still, I've just been putting it off.
How come you haven't watched the fight, or just?
I just been traveling, busy traveling. But also, I don't know. David, can you help me get it? Download it. Yeah. Okay. Legally.
I was about to say
yes,
Fight Pass when it comes out.
I get it for free. So yeah, hopefully, yeah.
But how would you assess the performance overall in that fight?
I thought I did well. I wanted to do better, so that's why I was hard on myself. So still 7 out of 10, but yeah, I know how I felt today, and I felt superior.
Was there anything that Rob did that surprised you? I mean, like his triple jab was a bit surprising.
That was the only one.
Yeah.
I think that was the only one that got me in the end. I was surprised at the effectiveness of his takedowns, like, because I knew he couldn't take me down easily, but he got me down, but never really controlled me. So I just knew I'd get back up. I knew I'd reverse him. I knew I'd stop his takedowns. But the ones he did get, I was like, damn, he actually just drove all the way through. So yeah, those are the two things I felt like surprised me, but nothing really that wow factored me.
And, well, were you surprised that in the qualified interview that you said that you thought you won? Because I think on my first scoring, I gave it 4-1 to you, but then the second one, I could see an argument for 3-2.
Yeah, I'm surprised he thought that, because we both know when you fight someone, you know if you won. So even when they had our hands, the referee held our hands, I just knew my hands were going to get raised. There was no doubt in my mind. So, and I also heard my coaches say when they watched the fight, his coaches were saying, you're losing the rounds, you need to pick it up. So I don't know how if your coaches see you losing the fight, you thought you won. They need to be on the same page. So that's surprising to me.
And obviously there was also another pivotal matchup in the co-main event between Derek Brunson and Jared Cannonier. Were you surprised the fight went that way, how it did, considering Brunson's resurgence since obviously you two met at UFC 230?
Since he went blonde, apparently. Yeah. No, I'm not surprised. Jared's a beast. He's the dark horse in the division. I've always said that, and he's a guy that people kind of just like, push away or sleep on. But he's dangerous. So, yeah, I want him next. I want fresh meat, and I look forward to taking care of that.
And you kind of plucked Jared from obscurity a long time ago before he was even in the picture. What was it about the matchup that you really relished?
I know what he's dangerous with, so that's a challenge. I know what he's dangerous at. That's a challenge that I look forward to taking those weapons away from him. And yeah, like he showed some of those, dangerous weapons in his fights and in this last fight. And like I said, that gets me up. This last fight got me up. I was never not motivated to fight Robert. But this, when you have fresh meat, there's something different about it. It's the unknown. I love the unknown. I don't fear the unknown. I love to venture in the unknown.
And when we spoke on Zoom a couple of weeks ago, you said that you wanted to be super active. You said that maybe you wanted to 3 to 4 times.
I want to go again in June. That's how fast. Like, even I was thinking about it this morning, I was like, man, I want to fight. Like, I could fight next weekend. I'm fresh. I can do a 2-week camp right now and I'm ready. All the work I did for my last camp is already still there. I haven't really I think I got drunk once, since the fight. I haven't really been living crazy, but yeah.
I've been seeing on Tim's Instagram stories, you've been in the club, man, especially with Dave as well.
Once.
Okay.
These guys were all in the club. They were at the Super Bowl parties. I went once, and that was it. But yeah, I want to fight. I want to go.
That's good. So then June, and then possibly November, December.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, maybe June, and September, and then December maybe. But we'll see. That's the thing. This It's all in the air right
Yeah.
now, and just one by one. But June's the next one, June or July.
And you recently signed a new contract at UFC, and I'm not going to go into the financial side of it because obviously that's very personal. But do you think that, well, obviously you said that you're very happy with it, so obviously it's to your liking. For now, yes. But do you think that the bumper new deal is a reward for everything that you bring to the table? Obviously, you bring the African market to the UFC, you bring the breakdancing market, you bring the anime market to the UFC. Do you think it's all an amalgamation of that?
Yeah, and then some. Even the Oceania situation we have going on with myself and Volkanovski as champions and the team that we have building over there, and the whole that side of the world's watching us because of what we're doing in the UFC. Yeah, a lot of things, a lot of factors are playing into the fact that now the UFC is seeing my value to the company and showing me my value, which I really appreciate. So yeah, I look forward to doing more good business with them.
And speaking about potential good business, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, a card in Africa would be a historic one.
Yes.
I don't know if you watched the post-fight press conference, but Dana White, he basically said that, look, we're going to be the first to do it. So how pleasing is it for you that the UFC are on board with that and that they do want to create that history?
I already know. We've talked about it before in the past, but now we are, I feel like there's maybe moving parts happening with that situation. So I look forward to headlining the card in the great continent of Africa.
But unfortunately, I know what it's like. Obviously, I'm from Zambia, but English. I know there's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of corruption. That takes place in Africa. I mean, in your mind, what's a timeline, realistic timeline for that?
Maybe end of this year or hopefully next year. But it's just, like you said, a lot of red tape and a lot of corruption. So you just have to be able to weed out all the bullshit, and I'm sure you're gonna have to cut this guy a deal or whatever, all that kind of stuff. That's how business happens, where we're from. But yeah, a lot of those have to just be taken care of before we can move forward. But yeah, it's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen.
And obviously, it would be the return of the continent of three kings, yourself, hopefully Francis Ngannou and Kamaru Usman. Let's say that Francis isn't able to come to terms with the UFC. I mean, how much of a big miss would that be for the African market and a potential show if
they will? They'll make it happen. I feel because Francis is a guy who loves to fight, and I think they can come to terms in a way where he gets what he wants, and the UFC get what they want as well, which is having their heavyweight champion of the world stick with them. So I'm sure they can come to terms with with that. But how are they going to get that? That's between them two.
Fair enough. And moving back to you, I can't remember the stat off the top of my head, which is really bad considering this is what I do for a living. But you've essentially, I think if memory serves me correctly, you've beaten 7 of the top 10 or 11 ranked middleweights.
Something like that.
Something like that. I mean, what fights on the horizon do you foresee? I know you've got the likes of Sean Strickland coming up, and so what? Yes,
my bad.
Pardon me. It's all right, no worries. So, how do you foresee the future playing out at middleweight?
I want Jared Cannonier next. I have other plans for Sean Strickland that I can't reveal yet. But Jared's the first guy on my list, and he's the next guy on my list. So I look forward to taking care of that. And then from there, I'll see what the lay of the land shows, and I'll decide how to move from there. But first things first is Jared.
And realistically, how much longer do you foresee yourself staying at 205? Because you're kind of running into Anderson Silva territory where, remember, he had to go up and, he fought Forrest. It wasn't really a fight. It was kind of a destruction. Yeah. But, so are you thinking of a return to 205 eventually after maybe 3 or 4 fights?
Of course. I will do that side mission again later on. But right now, it's just 185, so that's where I'm focused at. But a return to 205 is not out the question.
Okay. And final question from me. When we spoke a couple of weeks ago, you said that you're just past the halfway point of your career, your combat sports career. Now, I'm not saying that you're thinking that the end is in sight or whatever, but have you thought about what the Israel Adesanya legacy looks like in 10 to 15 years' time?
Yeah. Immortalized. That's just something that would be set in stone and gold and bronze and silver, all that just set, immortalized for life, where people will know that name, Adesanya, they'll know that name, and they'll know that it reigns alongside greatness forever. that's what my legacy will be by the time this is all said and done.
Israel Adesanya, thank you very much for the time. I appreciate it. Make sure you get some crumpets with your team, man.
Oh, yes,
Obviously, you've got to have to.
Yes,
you got to
can't
have
do one without the other.
the full English experience, man.
Exactly.
Absolute pleasure, man.
I
Thank
have
you
had
very
some
much.
blood pudding and a full English breakfast. So
What do you make of the English breakfast then?
I liked it. Yeah, it was really hearty. It was it's filling. Put it that way.
Did you have the black pudding with it?
Of course.
Yeah,
the blood pudding.
Yeah, it's just nice,
definitely.
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, it was good.
All right. Cheers.
Easy.
Thank you very much, man.
you, guys.
Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.